Now we will see how these 7 parts of the universal coupling can be assembled together. So I will go to SolidWorks. I will go for selecting assembly layout now. Okay, assembly template will be selected. Okay, and then when assembly layout is opened on the left side, okay, we have the option for bringing the created model. Okay, so therefore here I will go for opening the document. So I will click on browse here. So first I am going to bring the center block. So first I am going to bring the center block. Okay, and I am going to place the center block exactly at the origin of this assembly layout. So where we can find the origin of the assembly layout, so that can be found by taking the cursor onto this feature manager design tree, and once you click on that, this feature manager tree will also appear in the assembly layout here. Okay, expand this tree and then you try to pick the origin. Okay, so we have brought the center block of the universal coupling, and we have fixed this exactly at the middle of the assembly layout. Then what we do is we go for bringing the next part, that is the fork. Okay, so fork will be brought and it will be placed somewhere here. Okay, so then we will go for adding the assembly relationship between this part number 1 and this part number 2. Okay, so that is I will go for using this mate option now. Okay, so first I am going to make the axis of this hole collinear with this axis of this cylindrical hole. Okay, so select those two lateral surfaces. Okay, then click on OK. So now okay, so this particular fork has become collinear, okay, with this vertical cylinder in the center block. Then what I do is I go for selecting this one, this face, and this face should come in contact with this face. So give the coincident relationship between those two faces. Now okay, so if you try to rotate this, see, you can see this fork can rotate with respect to the which one, it can rotate with respect to the central block. Okay, so we need to prevent this. So in order to see, in reality it should not be prevented. Okay, but in order to get the proper orthographic views, what we do is we are going to fix the rotation of this fork with respect to the center block. How it can be done? So now I will check where is the front plane of this fork. So I will go to the I will go to the fork and I will try to see where is the front plane. So this is the front plane of the fork. Okay, and I will check where is the front plane of the center block. So front plane of the center block is here. So therefore I am going to make the front plane of the center block and front plane of the fork to coincide. So how it can be done? I will go for using mate option. So here first I am going to select the front plane of the front plane of the center block. Then I am going to select the front plane of the fork. So once it is done, these two planes will become coincident. Okay, once they become coincident, okay, the meaning is that we will not be able to rotate this fork further with respect to the center block. So the rotation degree of freedom has been constrained now. Okay, so then close this one. Now it's the time for bringing the next fork. Okay, so that is I will go to again insert components. I will go to browse. Okay, and I'm going to bring the next part again. One more fork has to be brought. So I'm going to bring it to somewhere here. Then what I do, I will go to mate again. Now this particular whole axis should become collinear with the horizontal cylinder axis here. So in the center block we have a horizontal cylinder. Okay, the axis of this horizontal cylinder in the center block should coincide with the or should become collinear with the holes in the center block here. So how it can be done? I will select this lateral surface and then this one. So once it is done, okay, so they will be aligned. The axis of the hole and the axis of this horizontal cylinder are aligned now. Click OK. So now we can rotate something like this. So now what I do is I am going to select this face. So this particular face should come in contact with this particular face here. Okay, so it can be brought like this. So then give OK. Now you can see, if you try to keep it in isometric view, this fork number 2 can be rotated again. So what I do now is, in order to prevent this rotation, okay, so I am going to select the I am going to select the top front plane. I'm going to select this front plane of the fork number 2, and I'm also going to select the which one, top plane of the center block. These two will be selected, and they will these two planes will be made as a coincident. You can see we have made it as coincident here. Then give it OK. Now we will not be able to rotate this. So in the front view, now it is going to appear like this. Okay, so and in the isometric view, two forks along with the center block will appear like this. Now it's the time for bringing the which one, next part. So which is the next part? Okay, so next part should be, okay, so next part should be the shaft. Okay, or we can also bring we can also go for bringing the pin, but before that let me bring the shaft itself. So I'm going to bring the part first. So this okay, so I'm going to bring the shaft first. This shaft should be inserted here. Okay, in order to insert that, first I'm going to select this circular edge. Okay, I will go to the main, select that circular edge, and then select this circular edge. So make these two as, instead of making coincident, go for making them as concentric. Don't make them as coincident. And then also at the bottom you flip the direction. So it should be flipped like this. Then give it OK. Now I can go for dragging this which one? I can go for dragging the shaft out. And now what I do is I'm going to again align. So I'm going to align here. Okay, the front plane of the shaft will be aligned with the front plane of the fork or the front plane of the assembly. So where it can be done? So I will go to the shaft part here. I will select the front plane, and this front plane will be aligned with the front plane of the assembly like this. Okay, so you can see they have been aligned. Okay, so then give it OK. Now what I do is I'm going to insert the key here. So for inserting the key, I am going to bring, okay, I will go to the insert components and bring the parallel key now. So bring the parallel key here. So I will keep it in isometric view. So I am going to bring it to somewhere here. I am going to fit the model. So once it is brought here, okay, so what I do is I will go for mating key with the shaft first. Okay, how it can be done? Okay, so it can be done like so now I am going to select. Okay, so we have parallel key here. I am going to select the front plane of the parallel key, and this front plane of the parallel key should be aligned with the front plane of the shaft. So align it first. Okay, once it is aligned, then what I do is I'm going to select the bottom face of the key. Okay, this one, this bottom face of the key should make contact with this bottom face of the keyway here. Done. So now what I do is I'm going to drag it out, and I'm going to select this particular face of the key, and this particular face of the key should coincide with this front face here. Then leave it OK. Okay, so therefore we have placed the key on the in the keyway present in the shaft. We have placed the key in the keyway present on the shaft. Now, okay, so the key is firmly fitted on the shaft. Now we have to insert the shaft inside the hole in the fork. So what we have to do now? So for that, okay, so I'm going to select this particular face of the shaft now. Okay, and then I'm going to select this particular, because when it is inserted, this particular face should come up to this face in the fork. So I'm going to select this. Okay, then click on OK. So now you can see that along with the key, the shaft has gone inside the hole in the fork. Okay, so therefore the first shaft has been keyed to the fork number 1. Now the same thing has to be repeated for the fork number 2 and the shaft number 2. So fork number 2 and shaft number 2 should be connected with the help of key number 2. So for that I need to bring one more shaft now. So browse. So I'm going to bring one more shaft, and I'm going to place it somewhere here. Okay, so then first I'm going to make, okay, so this particular shaft concentric with this one. Okay, and but don't make it as coincident, make it only concentric. Okay, and also we should flip it out. Okay, so it should be, I think this is not the correct direction of insertion. So let me again flip it inside. Okay, give it OK. Then I am going to drag this shaft, okay, out from the hole. So then you can see now this is how the shaft is placed. Okay, so then what I do now is, okay, so I'm going to align this shaft. Okay, with the I'm going to align this keyway in the shaft with the keyway in the fork here. So how it can be aligned? So what I do now is I'm going to select. I will go to the mate. Okay, we are in the mating option. Okay, so now I will go to the mate, and here let me select shaft number 2. Okay, for the shaft number 2 I'm going to select the front plane. Okay, so front plane of the shaft number 2 has been selected here, and then I'm going to select with respect to this fork, that is with respect to the fork number 2. Now I will try to select the front plane again. Okay, so once these two, front plane of the shaft number 2 and front plane of the fork number 2 are selected here, and if they are, if we try to make them coincident, okay, you can see, okay, the keyways are aligned now. Keyway in the fork and keyway in the shaft are aligned. Okay, so and we can give it okay. And then what we do is we are going to bring the key. Okay, so we are going to bring the key. So insert components, browse, parallel key has to be brought here. Okay, and then again I'm going to align the key with the keyway here, keyway in the shaft. So we have to place this key in the keyway in the shaft. So how it can be done? So I'm going to select which one now? I'm going to select the front plane of the key now, second key. So front plane of the second key will be selected, and it will be made coincident with the front plane of the second shaft, that is front plane here. So front plane of the second shaft. Okay, give it okay. Since it is a parallel key, we can go for aligning it easily. So we have that key here, so I can take it out to somewhere here, and then what I do is I'm going to select the bottom face of this key here, and this should rest on this particular face of the keyway. Align it. Okay, and then what has to be done? Now it is having only left and right motion. Okay, so what I do now is I'm going to select this face. Okay, when key is inserted into this keyway, so this particular face of the key should coincide with this face. Okay, so give it okay. Now you can see that the parallel key has been placed into the keyway in the shaft. Then what we do now, the key, this particular key is rigidly connected to the shaft, but the shaft can be moved now along with the key. Okay, so the shaft can be moved in and out, okay, in the horizontal direction along with the key. Now what we do is we are going to bring this particular face of the shaft, okay, in contact with let me check it here, in contact with this particular face, because when shaft is inserted, this particular face of the shaft will come up to this face. So select those two faces, then click on OK. Okay, so now we can go for checking the front view. So this is the front view, this is the top view. Okay, with the two forks and one center block and two shafts and two keys. Okay, but still we have not which one locked the which one two forks with the central block. Okay, so that should be locked with the help of which one? With the help of the pin. So let me go for bringing the pin now. So let me bring the pin here. Okay, so this is the pin. Okay, so now I am going to first make the pin axis collinear with the whole axis here. So select these two lateral surfaces. I am going to flip the direction here so that the pin edge will be above. Okay, so then click on OK. Then what I do is okay, so what I'm trying to do now is this can be rotated here. Okay, so this can be rotated like this. So I'm going to make a front plane of this the front plane. Let me go like this. So for the print, let me select the front plane. So this particular front plane of this pin should coincide with the front plane of the center block. So where is the front plane of the center block? So it is here. So I'm going to expand here. So front plane of the center block, which is highlighting here. Okay, so these two should be aligned first, then click on OK, so that we can lock the rotation. Then what I do is I'm going to bring this particular face, okay, because now the pin should be inserted in the holes of the holes in the fork as well as in the center block. So select that particular face and this face. Okay, so pin will be inserted. Okay, so now you can see that we have a taper hole here. Okay, but before we Okay, go for inserting the taper pin here. First we have to put the collar here. So let me close this. Let me bring one more component now. Go to browse. Okay, so collar has to be brought. That is part number 6 and place it somewhere here. So then what I do is I'm going to first make the collar axis collinear. Okay, so the collar axis or the collar should be concentric with this pin. So first make it concentric. Okay, so then what I do is I'm going to rotate like this. Okay, so then let me select the front plane. Let me select the front plane of this collar. So the front plane of the collar is here, and the front plane of this pin will be selected now. The front plane of the pin is here. So I have aligned the front plane of the collar and the front plane of the pin. So like this. So now you can see, if you try to keep it in front view, they are going to appear like this. So they are aligned. So now what I do, so I need to insert the collar into the pin. Okay, so I have select this face and this particular face. So therefore they will become coincident. Okay, so now you can see here. Okay, so if you try to keep it in front view, you can see the hole. Okay, so the axis of the hole in the collar and the axis of the hole in the pin. Okay, so both are coinciding now. Okay, because of which we can see we can see the back side of the background here. Okay, so the axis of the tapered holes made in collar and the pin are collinear. Now we can go for inserting the which one, taper pin. So I will go for bringing the last component now, so which will be the taper pin. So bring the taper pin now. So this is the taper pin. Okay, so what I do now is first again I need to make it as a concentric. Okay, so in order to make it concentric, what I do is in this case, so I'm going to select mate option here. So I'm going to select this conical face. Okay, so this conical surface will be selected. Then I'm going to select this conical surface here. Okay, so this will be done. But the taper pin has gone up to somewhere here. So what I do now is, after selecting those two conical surfaces, so I'm going to click on this aligned. So this option should be used. Then you can see, okay, so there is a perfect coincident taking place between the conical face of the taper pin and the tapered hole in the collar as well as in the tapered hole in the pin. Okay, so this is how it has done. Okay, give it okay. So now you can see that we cannot take out this taper pin. Okay, but only thing is still even though it is not appearing, this taper pin will have rotation degree of freedom. So if you want to lock that, you can do it. Otherwise, okay, so you can stop at this stage. Okay, so this completes the assembling of all the 7 parts. Okay, I think I missed one more, which is that. Okay, so one more pin has to be brought. Why? Because which one, fork number 1 is connected to the center block with help of this pin. Okay, in the same way we have one more fork here. So for this fork also, this fork should be connected to the center block again with help of one more pin. So therefore one more pin has to be brought. Insert components, browse. Let me go for bringing one more pin now. Okay, here, and then what I do is I go for establishing the relationship between this pin and this fork number 2. We'll go for using mate option, select this lateral surface of the pin and this one hole. Okay, so what I try to do is already with respect to the fork number 1, we can see the pin head here. Okay, but I cannot see the collar. So what I do here is when I am trying to insert this pin to the fork number 2 and through the center block, I will try to bring the collar in front. Okay, so for getting the collar in front, I am going to flip this pin in something like this. Okay, then click on OK now. So therefore this is how the pin is aligned now. Okay, so then what I do is I am going to align the front plane. So let me select the front plane of this pin. So this is the front plane of the pin. Okay, so this front plane of the pin, okay, should be aligned with the front plane of the fork number 2. So fork number 2 is here. Fork number 2. Okay, so front plane is here. So try to align it. So you can see in the top view, if you want you can go to the top view, you can see here, okay, so this plane and this plane are aligned now. Okay, so once it is done, click on OK, and then when it is inserted, this particular face should come in contact with this face. Select these two. Okay, then click on OK again. So next we have to put the collar here. So in order to bring the collar, go to insert components, browse. Okay, so bring the collar again. So collar has been inserted into the assembly layout. Now first I will make the collar axis collinear which is the pin axis, like this. Okay, and then okay, so I think they have become concentric now. Now what I can do is I can go for rotating this. Okay, so what I do now is I'm going to make so I'm going to select the front plane again, so of the collar. So front plane of the collar is here. This should be aligned with, okay, the front plane of the second pin. The front plane of the second pin. So align it. Okay, so you can see now if you try to keep it in top view, you can see the holes are aligned. Means you can see two concentric holes here which represents that there is a tapered hole. Okay, so once it is done, okay, so once their front planes are aligned, then I'm going to select this back face of the collar. This should this should make contact with this face. Select it, give it OK. Now if your dimensions are correct, then when you try to see the top view, you can see you should see the through hole. Okay, means the axis of the which one? The axis of the tapered hole in the collar is coinciding with the axis of the hole made in the pin. Okay, so both are collinear now. So once it is done, it's the time for inserting the second taper pin. So go for bringing that second taper pin now. Okay, so then go to the mate. So select the conical face of this tapered pin and select this conical face. Okay, once it is done, they are aligned like this. Okay, but I want the alignment to be in the opposite direction. So click on this aligned. Okay, so it will come like this and it is going to fit here. Okay, so this is how the tapered pin is fitted. Okay, in the tapered hole of the collar and tapered hole in the pin. Okay, so I think this completes the assembling of all the parts in this universal coupling. Okay, so you can observe now. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can go to the insert and you can go to inserting which one tables here, bill of materials. Okay, so bill of materials, again I'm going to select this one. Okay, here. Okay, so if you try to insert the bill of materials in the assembly layout itself, you can see now, okay, in this particular assembly we have used one center block, two forks are used, two shafts are used, two parallel keys are used, two pins are used, two collars are used, two taper pins are used. Okay, so which is exactly same as the bill of materials which is given here, except the center block, all other parts are used twice, two in numbers. Okay, so therefore this assembly is correct now. Okay, so I can go for I don't require this actually, so I am going to delete that bill of materials, because we require bill of materials only in the which one. So I'm going to save this file now. Okay, save the document, build the save and document assembly one. Okay, so this should be saved as universal coupling. So we have saved this as assembly file now. So I need to get the orthographic views of this assembled universal coupling. How to get that? Okay, so in order to get that one now, so I'm going to close this. Okay, so then I will go for new. I will use the drawing layout now. Click OK, and then once this drawing layout opens, select the A4 size sheet, but here A4 size sheet is appearing like portrait, so we want that A4 size sheet to be in the landscape orientation. Select the landscape. Okay, and then click on OK. Okay, so then close this model view, go for sheet 1, go for properties here. Okay, so we need to select the type of projection as first angle projection. Okay, and select A4 size sheet. I think A4 size sheet with landscape orientation. Give it OK. Okay, so we have changed the projection type to first angle projection. Then you can go to the view layout here, go to the model view. Okay, bring the assembled file now. So bring the assembly of the universal coupling. Okay, select it. By default software will try to give only the front view. Okay, so you have to click on this create multiple views here and try to select the bottom view. Okay, I think just a minute. So now if you look at here, okay, so the projections it's coming for third angle projection. I think I changed it, but still I think it is not. See, even though I had changed it, software has not taken as first angle. So let me change it as first angle projection first, then give it OK, then go for model view, browse. Now again you bring the assembly file here. Okay, so when you try to bring the assembly file now, this is front view, this is the top view, okay, this is the isometric view and this is the right view. So I will create multiple views now. So front view is already selected, then I will select the which one? I will select the top view, then isometric view, then the side view. So these will be selected now. Okay, so I think here the scale is looking very small. If you want, you can go for customizing your scale here. So instead of 1:5, you can go for 1:2 here. Change the scale. Okay, so then click on OK. Okay, so this is how it looks. So we can go for moving the isometric view of this isometric view of the universal coupling can be moved to somewhere here, and the front view, top view can be aligned like this. Okay, so it can be aligned like this. I need some space to add the bill of materials. Okay, so let me put it here. Okay, so then I will go for inserting the bill of materials. I will go to insert tables, bill of materials. Okay, and isometric view is already selected here, and I will click on OK. So you can see now it can be inserted here, and in column C there is no description added, so I am going to delete that particular column, and once it is done I am going to move it to somewhere here. Okay, and I will try to reduce the size of this. Okay, size of this one I am trying to reduce, so it can be placed to somewhere here. Okay, so let me move this okay, like this. So therefore we have added the bill of materials. You can see here center block is 1, okay, 1 in number, fork is 2 in number, shaft is 2 in number, parallel keys are 2 in number. We have used 2 pins, we have used 2 collars, and we have used 2 taper pins. And this is how the front view looks, this is how the top view appears. Okay, and this is how the side view appears. If you want to show the hidden edges, okay, so you can go for showing the hidden edges by clicking on somewhere here, go to the properties, go to the show hidden edges. Okay, and here you can select like this pin can be I think we selected the collar. Okay, so I need to select the pin here. Okay, so okay, pin is selected now, apply. So once you click on that part, you can see the hidden edges are appearing in the front view like that. If you want to display the hidden edges of any part, you just select that part and click on OK. Okay, and okay, is that clear? So that is this is how you can go for showing the orthographic views of the universal coupling. Okay, thank you.